Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I want to welcome you to another edition of Kingdom Fundraisers Live. And guess what? I am Willie Peterson. They call me Pastor Willie. I'm your host for today again. And as always, I'm just grateful to be here with you guys. I'm grateful. It's been a busy day already. And guess what? I've got a literally full day of meeting and fundraising and counseling and coaching and learning. I'm even going to be on at 1 o'clock with one of my coaches, my coach, my mentor, as it relates to community, Dr. Bob Woodson. Well, he's not really Bob Woodson from the Woodson Foundation. We have a team that meets every second Friday of every month, and I'm a part of that team and love every minute of it. And God is good today. I'm going to introduce two new partners to partner with us as a part of their CAN network. And if you're interested and you're doing some work in the community and want to join a legacy group, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with the interview with you, and then recommend you if there's something I think that you can participate in and learn from and give. Again, so I'm Willie Peterson, your host. I'm glad to be here today. It's a beautiful day outside again. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to get near 90 this weekend here in Florida. So hopefully I can enjoy some of it tomorrow. Today is a busy day, like I said, and so that's my goal, is to get positioned to do so. Yesterday I had a procedure on my back, and so the doctor said give it 24 to 48 hours, and I should feel better. I can admit I feel better already, and I've got 3 more procedures to go in the next month to help the legs, and we should be all right soon. When the weather changes and gets warm permanently, I'll get a chance, preferably, to walk the beach and just walk my neighborhood and exercise a little more. God has been good and has been blessing me, but I want to make sure I stay healthy. Isn't that a good idea? If we're going to be kingdom fundraisers, we need to be kingdom healthy. Come on, somebody. And so I want to be grateful for you today. I'm not seeing my partner in crime, my brother Mark, on with me yet. Hopefully he is. And if not, he will be soon. And if not, we're going to go with the flow anyway. I realize there's a lot going on in his neighborhood, in his home. And we just, if he does not get to join me, then, I'm going to ask you guys to quickly join me in prayer. I'm trying to see if he sent me, waiting for it to complete. I don't know what that means, but I'm looking for him, so that must mean something's going on. So let me see if he's going to join me today. So I just sent him a message because, he's my partner in crime. I get a lot done with Brother Mark. But I did send him a Zoom, so he may be trying to connect with us on Zoom. And so I had to send him that message to come back to Facebook. And so maybe he'll come back there um, and I don't know. And that might be my fault, you know. There we go. I sent him a message so he'll notify me back here because we were talking today about going live on Zoom. And y'all excuse me for that breakup. I'm a little on the Zoom, on the lull, again, medicated from my procedure yesterday, but I'm going to get through the day. Someone told me yesterday, you sound tired. Well, it's been rough for the last week, sleeping and waking up in the middle of the night in some pain. But I'm grateful, and I'm here today, and I want to go to the next step, everybody, the next level of recording, and we're setting up the cameras to go live better in recording for the podcast. But God has blessed me. One of my dear friends, Brother Gerald Barnes, I'm going to call him out today, has been connecting me with some really kingdom partners, fundraising partners who are looking to expand their business, their ministry. I've got several of them that God has connected me with. Brother Jose Pereira out of Houston, the ambassadors, Sister Kayla and Sister Sheila out of Atlanta, that we're doing some great work with. Sister Camille here in Melbourne, and in the Macedonia CDC here in Melbourne. We're doing some great work. Brother Ken Ayers, Amaze Mix out of Chicago. Come on, y'all. There are some team people that really are working together, building God's kingdom by working together and growing businesses and helping other businesses or helping people that we serve. Kingdom Fundraisers is not just about raising money. It's how do I help you do the things that God called you to do, who and how to serve the people that you're called to serve. Because as a fundraiser, you're not just raising money to put money in your pocket. You're raising money. I pray that you are. You're raising money to provide the service that God has called you to. And for these last 4 years, when you're joining Kingdom Fundraisers, I'm praying that you're joining Kingdom Fundraisers or a part of We Pete Inc. or a part of the ministry that God has called us to. I'm praying that you're doing that so that you can make sure that you are serving and providing the service that God called you to serve. I'm putting on this page the link to there we go. I'm putting in the link so that you can know how to connect to me. And that on that page, you'll find all of my social media pages. You'll get Facebook, you'll get YouTube, you'll get LinkedIn, you'll get this one here. You'll get all of the social media links. Why? So that you'll be able to provide the service or learn more about the services that we provide for you. So you'll also get to act through that webpage right there or that link right there. You'll be able to connect and you can become a member of our 1 Minute Prayer page. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the LinkedIn. In fact, you can connect and get your own LinkedIn page for the social media things that you're doing. So again, that's what we're trying to do, to make sure that you're able to get to the link that you need in order to provide the service that you need to provide to the people that you're trying to serve. And so that's really what I want to make sure that you're doing today. And again, so don't forget, go to linktree.com. And guess what? I see I'm not live. Okay. Well, maybe I'm not live on Facebook right now. I should be. There it is. I'm there. Okay. I'm cheating. I'm going to Facebook to see for myself if I'm live. I'm live. There you go. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get back to business. I don't know what Brother Mark is, but again, linktree.com/Pastor Willie will connect you to all of the social media links. Again, when you become a member of the 1 Minute Prayer, you're going to soon be the Kingdom Fundraisers Network membership opportunity where you can become a member of the network. And then you can get access to the tools and the resources we have. I can officially announce today that the 1 Minute Prayer book is now on Kindle. You'll see in the next few days, now that we've got everything done, the Faith-Based Fundraising Made Simple, that book will be on Kindle in the next few days. So you'll be able to access these books directly by going to Amazon. Hello, somebody say thank you. So that you can now get the material that we talk about on a regular basis, and especially as we talk about kingdom fundraising made simple. Now, looking at that in mind, last week we had that conversation about kingdom fundraising made simple. And I wanted to I got to piggyback on that. I don't want to just stay there on the same thing, but we had talked about having a series on kingdom fundraising made simple. And that's how we started 2 or 3 weeks ago. But today I just want to go into some practical things. I want to talk about legacy. I want to talk about wisdom. And I want to talk about being transparent. Is that all right? Can I do that? And I also have it set up for new organizations. But I want to make sure that we have a conversation about fundraising. And I want you to get you a pen. I want you to get some paper today and take some of these notes. Because when we talk about how to fundraise, we want to talk about it in a way that's going to benefit your organization and give you some hands-on tools. If you're going to talk about fundraising, listen to me. One thing we need to be is transparent. I've learned that from the hard way. I've been doing this 20-something years. I taught it for 13 years at the college level when we talked about it in the social work department. I have a BA, a bachelor's in social work, and a master's in management and leadership with a nonprofit emphasis. I studied that and I began to teach that. At 18 years old, when I was in college, I was in college as a musician. And so eventually I ended up dropping out because I wasn't really ready or qualified. And I ended up going on tour with music. But through that transition of going on a tour, getting out of that, getting back, coming back home to my family and getting saved and going into the church. And then while there, I realized we were doing some things after we got into Lorain, Ohio. My son was in a choir, and that choir needed fundraising. And we began to have a conversation about how to help them do so. And we were at first talking about fundraising through the church, but the pastor did not want the church to spend their money on the kids. Not that he didn't want to do that, but he was trying to build a building. So needed fundraising for his building. Come on. So what we were trying to do was taking away from that. So I had to learn fundraising, and my wife and a dear friend of mine, Stedman and Joyce Pleasant, Stedman is now deceased, but they tricked me to a fundraising event in, actually it was a grant writing seminar in Columbus, Ohio. At that time we were living in Lorain. I'm thinking I'm getting a gift and a weekend away, and come to find out I'm at a fundraising event or grant writing training. Went to the training, and guess what? There's you, Mark, on there today. I see someone just joined. Oh, no, that's Sister Stewart. Sister Brenda, God bless you, my sister. You know I'm praying with you. You know I'm praying with you. Thanks for joining me. And we're talking about fundraising now. And the 1 minute prayers on Wednesday, but we got you right now too. So thank you for being here. And so let me share. Now, when we were looking at being trained in fundraising, I went to the seminar, realizing that the youth group needed to raise funds so that they can travel. They were working on an album. That album got released was produced by Fred Hammond. They got that album released, and they needed to go on tour. So we had to learn how to fundraise. And my son and they were in teenagers, early 20s. The leader of the group was 21, 22 years old. They didn't know what to do. So as a parent who was concerned about his son becoming successful in what they were doing, that's what me and Ella did. We went to training. I went to training after training. And guess what, y'all? That training, it grew. I began to fundraise not only with that group, but with other groups. We started our own nonprofit, and it began to grow. And we ended up moving back home to Youngstown. And when we moved back home to Youngstown, God led me to do some things at the church that I was at in Youngstown, actually in Campbell, Ohio. And we had a small group of kids that were not doing well in school with the school right behind us. And we had kids that were flunking out of school. And we had teachers in our school, one that was a teacher at the school behind me. We had bank executives and leaders. I'm like, well, why are y'all not tutoring the young people so they can get what they needed? And we pulled together, got everybody together. And that was when I wrote my first major grant. And we ended up writing a grant for a program called KEYS, Keys, Keep Educating Youth All Seasons. And that group, it was a $200,000 grant funded by the Department of Health and Human Services out of the Youngstown. It was a Youngstown HUD. It was that wasn't HUD. That was Health and Human Services Welfare Department. And she funded us to do this work within 12 schools, 12 churches, actually. And we serviced well over 150 kids that summer, 8 weeks in the summer. And when there was so much, that's another story. But again, that was the first major grant that I received and got started helping youth. And in order to do that, there were certain things and qualifications that they needed. And learning from those experiences, I kept doing that to where I am now, helping you so that I can help you qualify for funding. Just last week, from a program that we helped a year ago I believe it's in Tennessee. And last year we helped them with a small grant. They worked on a $100,000 grant. This year they got a $1.9 million grant. Let me tell you, it's possible for you to be able to get what you need as long as you have the right tools to fundraise. And we have a checklist that's designed to help you go from A to Z, even from the beginning, startup to sustainability, and how to get your vision off paper onto the pavement so that you can do again what God called you to do. So in order to get these things, there's some things that the funders we need to have in our database. We need to be transparent. let me share with you these three ways that we can talk about doing so. Write down the top three ways your organization currently communicates with funders. Write them down. The top three things that you do to communicate with funders. How do you do so? Uh, and the impact that you make with them. Are you just asking for money, or are you building a relationship with your funders? In my book, The 5 R's for Successful Fundraising, and that also is becoming a Kindle book. I just got to upload them now. And when you look at these 5 R's, I talk about relationships. The first one is actually research. I've got a company that wants me to just do that research. So you want to research funders. And when you're researching those funders, you want to find out, using the annual report, for example, who did they give money to last year? And when you do that, it tells you who they gave money to, but it also, guess what, y'all, tells you if you're fit for that organization. And so who are you communicating with, and how are you getting your communication, or how are you getting your message to them? Write down the top 3 ways your organization currently communicates the impact to your donors. How are you telling them what you did? How did you get it done? All right. And then rate them. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. All right. Then write one immediate action step that you can take this week to improve transparency, such as sending a clear impact report. Now, I'll give you an example. The team I'm on at 1 o'clock, we had a graduation from one of the funders, and they funded part of it. We had a graduation. We took pictures with the students and their certificates. And those pictures, along with that report of the 15 people, are going to the funder. That tells them it's my impact report. It's not just written, but now they have pictures of the people that are actually being done. So update your website. How about social media with recent outcomes? Post your pictures and your successes on your website. Don't just have a website to tell everybody what you're doing and asking for donations. Post your victories. Your funders or future funders want to see your victories, okay? How about creating a short video testimony showcasing your recent success stories? I'm doing that now. I just talked about the group out of Tennessee that got a small grant last year, then $100,000 grant, and this year they got a $1.9 million grant. Hello. It lets you know that when you're doing it, and I intend to have them give me a short testimony about the work I've done with them. Why? So that you're not just hearing me talk about it, you get to hear those victories, do it yourself. Transparent. Make your funder know what you're doing. Help them. And when you're posting those things and you're writing about it, people can see what you're doing. Transparent. See what you're doing. And now they're more likely to want to give you funds for your victories. I have a team out of Atlanta, and those 2 ladies are doing some great work with housing, homelessness, and veterans. That's one of our goals, is we are building their qualification table. That we're going to start taking pictures, those that are allowable, because we got people that are homeless we're not necessarily allowed. And by the way, if you're taking pictures of people, get permission to post them, to use them. So don't just take pictures and post pictures of, you don't want to, especially if they're children. You don't want to just put those pictures on. You want to make sure you're doing it right. Let me give you number 2 for the day. The first one was being transparent. Number 2 is wisdom. How about wisdom? List your organization's top 3 expenses over the past 3 months. Next to each of them, briefly note whether each expense aligns with your core mission. You can just simply say yes, no, or unsure. List the top 3 expenses your organization has, and specifically in these last 3 months. We ain't got to go through a whole year. Let's just look at the last 3 months, what you spent money on. And let's briefly identify which expense aligns with your mission. If your mission is to tutor 10 children and help them get their grade levels up 1 grade level between now and the end of June, then look at what you're spending money on and see if your expenditures is aligned with that vision. Okay. Then, if not, then do a budget review. Get with your team, get with your board, and do a budget review. I mentioned the young lady Camille and Little Growers here. Their part of her goal is to do a budget review, do her board's strategic plan and planning for funding so that they can get things aligned with the mission of Little Growers. Giving you an example, okay? Identify one area to redirect spending toward your clear mission. If you got money, you're spending money and it's not directly toward the mission, then let's identify those areas. Let's make the changes that we need to make in order so that you can do so. That's being wise. How are you spending your money in a wise manner? Got it? The third one, number 3, is legacy mapping. Legacy mapping, okay? Evaluate how your fundraising practice supports long-term kingdom impact. Let me say that again. Evaluate how your fundraising priorities or your fundraising practices support long-term impact. That's pretty good, ain't it? So write down the names of 3 key donors and partners who have significantly contributed to your organization's success. Do you have 3? Then if you don't have 3, then how do we find 3 significant donors? That goes back to research. We research, we match that vision with funders who align with your vision so that we can have a consistent cash flow. That's what Kingdom Fundraisers does. When you are working with us, you contract with us, we align, we look at your vision. The first 90 days is about you and your organization. I'm not trying to go find some money and I don't know nothing about you. Sometimes I find out that many organizations don't know a lot about themselves. So if I'm going to help you, then let's qualify you for the funding you're looking for. And again, I have the tools to help you qualify so that even if you choose not to use me to fundraise, you'll have all of the tools you need for fundraising. And in many cases, I will be able to help or teach someone in your organization to do it yourself. Because oftentimes you have built-in fundraising of fundraisers right in your own system. There are people who want to give money to you that are connected to you, and they're right there. And where you're looking for those $100,000 and $200,000 grants. And I don't know about you, but 10 $2,000 grants will do what for you? If you got 10 people giving you $2,000, 10 organizations, they could be Walmart, could be Wendy's, could be Starbucks, could be Home Depot, could be Office Depot. They have organizations, could be your bank, could be your foundation, could be one of the hospitals that have foundations. If you found, I just named 10 people. If each one of them had funding opportunities for $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, and you wrote those small grants, and by the way, it doesn't take a lot to get those dollars. But if you found 10 of them giving you $2,000, tell me, will 20 grand help your organization? A lot of times those $5,000, $10,000 to $5,000 grants are unrestricted dollars. But even if they're restricted, and you can say to them, example, right here, there's an organization, a hospital that gave the nonprofit I'm working with here $10,000. Now, when we wrote the $10,000, our program was doing one specific thing, but we altered it for 2025. Why? Because we found that the need in the community was more for CNAs, certified nursing assistants. So instead of trying to do the whole thing, HHAs, home health aides, certified nursing assistants, and LPNs, we narrowed it because we found the need here in this area was for CNAs. So we put together a program targeting that. We got funding targeting that. And so when we went to another funder who gave us the money for the big package, we realized we're only doing this. We revised it, rewrote it, sent it in to be approved to now narrow that 10,000. So we went from 50,000 to 25,000. That's one of the larger organizations rewrote 3,000 back into the funding, and now we have another 10,000. They add up when you start looking for small dollars and begin to add those dollars up, because more funders will give you small money. Don't be afraid of, Bible said, don't despise small beginnings. And too often we're so busy looking for the big dollars when we miss those little impacts that we have and opportunities to, okay? And so transparent, be wisdom. Use wisdom in what you're doing when it comes to your fundraising and build your legacy, huh? Evaluate how your fundraising practices support your long-term kingdom impact, okay? Last thing I want to say to you, identify one simple yet meaningful action that you can implement today to deepen and widen your kingdom impact. One thing, look at your organization, evaluate your organization, and come up with one thing that you can do to make a difference, rather in being transparent, huh? Or reviewing your budget in the wise way so you can wisely spend the money that you have, or building your legacy. That's what I wanted to talk about. Kingdom fundraising made simple, adds these tools to you, and these are things that you can do hands-on. You can rewrite your vision. You can rewrite or redo your budget to have a kingdom impact. And you can build your legacy. Take a look at it, your mission statement, your vision statement. What are you doing to build a legacy? That's what I call sustainability. Our goal is to help you go from startup, even if you've been in business for a while, but you're starting a new program. How do we help you go from startup to sustainability, knowing that you have a long-term impact on the people that God has called you to serve? Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. I pray that all is well. And until next week, God bless you. See you soon.